Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today is July 11th, 2025, and we're jumping straight into the biggest AI news-making waves right now. And just so you know, this whole Deep Dive, researched and put together entirely by AI, it's our way of giving you a fast track to understanding these really critical developments. So let's get started. First up, Apple. Their stock's taken a bit of a hit, down about 15% this year. That's pretty stark when you look at, say, Nvidia just soaring. Investors seem to be getting nervous. What's your take? Why is Apple feeling this AI pressure?
Yeah, it's the big question, isn't it? And what's really interesting, I think, is how Wall Street is explicitly saying Apple needs the AI story.
Hmm.
It almost feels like Apple's traditional strength, that closed ecosystem, might actually be a disadvantage now in this wide open AI race.
Right.
You have analysts like Dan Ives putting it pretty bluntly saying Apple's basically at a highway rest stop while the AI revolution is just zooming by.
Ouch. And Ives even suggested what Apple should buy Perplexity for something like $30 billion.
Exactly, a huge number, even with Apple sitting on, 80 billion in cash. But there's this warning from Brian Mulberry, too, that Apple's got maybe 24, 36 months to figure this out or risk its own AOL moment.
That's a serious warning. Losing relevance like that.
It really is. A major shift missed can be catastrophic, even for a giant.
So, okay, Apple's definitely feeling the heat. But while they're strategizing, Amazon seems to be building out the infrastructure side of things with this new marketplace.
Absolutely. It's a different angle, but just as significant. Amazon Web Services is apparently launching this marketplace specifically for AI agents.
And maybe just quickly, what is an AI agent for folks who might not be clear?
Good point. So think beyond your standard chatbot. AI agents are designed to be more autonomous. They can actually do things independently, browse the web for information, write bits of code, manage your emails, complex tasks like that, without you holding their hand the whole time.
Okay, so more proactive.
Exactly. And this marketplace, supposedly launching July 15th, the idea is to make it much easier for businesses, for developers, to find and use these more powerful AI tools, lowering the barrier to entry.
And Anthropic is going to be a
Yeah.
big part of this, right, given Amazon's massive investment there.
You'd expect so. Amazon put, what, $8 billion into Anthropic?
Okay.
So yeah, they'll likely be a key vendor. It creates ways for AI startups to make money and helps bigger companies plug these tools in more easily. It's a potentially huge ecosystem play.
Okay, moving from the corporate chess game to the impact on people's jobs, there was this study looking at the first half of 2025. It found only 75 U.S. job cuts were officially blamed on AI. 75. But at the same time, around 20,000 jobs were lost due to sort of broader tech-linked factors. That number 75 seems, well, tiny. What's going on there?
It does seem tiny, doesn't it? And the suspicion pretty strongly is that companies might be using vague terms like technological update or restructuring, basically using euphemisms to avoid saying AI replaced these jobs, maybe because they're worried about, public backlash or damaging their reputation.
Hiding it a bit.
Potentially. I mean, you have some companies like Meta who've been more open, saying AI efficiencies mean they need fewer people for certain roles, but many others are, let's say, less transparent about it.
And the predictions for the future are all over the place. You've got Anthropic CEO Dario Amodei saying maybe half of entry-level white-collar jobs could vanish in 5 years. That's dramatic.
That's Cirque prediction.
But then you have Mark Cuban arguing the opposite, basically saying, hey, like every tech revolution before, AI will create new jobs, new industries we can't even imagine yet. Is this time different, though?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? History does show new roles emerging. But AI's ability to tackle cognitive tasks, not just physical ones, is arguably different from, say, the Industrial Revolution or even the early internet. The pace of change feels faster, too. We're constantly reassessing what work is uniquely human.
Yeah, the ground is definitely shifting. And that brings us neatly to another area full of uncertainty: copyright law. We saw 2 different court rulings in California just this week related to AI training data. What happened there?
Right, perfect transition. Because just like with jobs, there's a lot of legal gray area here. The big question boils down to, when is using copyrighted stuff to train an AI considered fair use? The courts seem to lean towards fair use if the AI's output was clearly transformative,
Transformative meaning.
meaning it created something substantially new with a different purpose. Like using books to train a language translation tool was seen as more transformative than an AI that just spits out summaries or passages very similar to the original books.
Okay, so one ruling went against Anthropic.
Yes, that one criticized Anthropic, specifically for keeping copyrighted material, allegedly pirated stuff, in its internal library even after training. That was a key point. The other ruling, involving Meta, seemed a bit more lenient. It sort of suggested that if the output is clearly transformative, there might be paths forward, perhaps involving licensing down the line.
So no clear answer yet, really.
Not at all. What it really highlights is the lack of a unified legal standard. We really need clearer guidelines, probably from Congress or higher courts, to tell creators and AI developers where the lines actually are. It's messy right now.
Definitely sounds like it. So let's try and wrap this up. What's the big takeaway from all these stories today?
I think the constant theme is just rapid fundamental transformation. It's hitting corporate strategy at giants like Apple. It's reshaping how businesses access AI via things like Amazon's marketplace. It's impacting jobs, and it's challenging basic legal ideas like copyright.
Yeah, it feels like everything's in motion at once. AI isn't just a tech story anymore. It's weaving into, well, everything. Business, work, law, creativity.
Exactly. It's forcing a rethink across the board.
So as you digest all this, maybe think about which of these shifts feels most immediate, most profound for your world. Is it the corporate race, the new tools, the job market's anxieties, or these tricky legal questions? Lots to consider. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.